Okay, so moving on to the more reflective series kind of PCT questions. Number one, what was your favorite / worst memory or part of the trail? Ah, that's so tough. There were so many awful, awful times that I had. I think one of my favorite parts of the trail was actually not on the Pacific Crest Trail, but it was a 17-mile side trip that I did to climb Mount Whitney, which is the tallest mountain in the continental US. I think that I had such a great time a day before I hiked the Mount Whitney and then after, because I ran into a group of hikers that I had met a couple weeks ago and I kind of jived with, but then obviously I don't really hike in groups, so I didn't see them for a while, and then I ran into them the day before I was planning on hiking Mount Whitney, and we camped together for 3 nights. I summited Mount Whitney with 2 of them, so that was really fun for me. And my worst part or worst memory, I don't think I have a specific day or anything like that, but the rain and the cold were just the toughest elements for me mentally. I mean, having to go to bed with all of your hiking gear soaked, and I just mean the stuff that you hike in every day, like my hiking pants, my shirt, my gloves, my shoes, my socks, just having them soaking wet, and then not being able to build a fire, one due to rain, but also due to the fire bans in the area, and then not having the sunlight the next day and having to do it all over again. That was just really tough on me, having to put on wet, soggy shoes, socks, pants, shirt, everything just being so cold against my body and not ever truly warming up throughout the day. That was just really tough on me. Number 2, did the PCT leave any lasting impressions / life changes on you? I've got this question a lot, like, did the PCT change you in any way and things like that, and I think yes and no. I didn't start off hiking the Pacific Crest Trail to go out in search of anything. It wasn't a spiritual journey for me. It wasn't something that I was looking for something or trying to find myself or anything like that. To me, it was just something to do. It's there. I thought it would be really neat to accomplish. So few people have been able to successfully through hike. To me, it was just something to test my physical and mental abilities. So that being said, no, it's not super life-changing. I didn't get a whole lot of emotional things out of it. I didn't learn a lot about myself, really. I mean, I thought that I could do it, and I did do it. What I did learn is I've truly learned what I need to survive. And I don't mean like, what do I need to be successful in life? What do I need to get a good job? What do I need to be able to buy nice things or have a nice home? What are the few things that I need in my life to survive? And so I think that that's a really neat thing, and most people never really truly learn, what do you need to survive from one day to the next? And I just mean, what do you need to continue breathing, to continue living from one night to the next morning? And so I think that that's really neat. And I've also just a newfound gratefulness to live in the place that I do, to live in the climate where I'm able to live outside for 6 months at a time. In fact, the sun comes out every single day, that there are enough natural water resources out there for me to live on. Like, that's incredible. And no, obviously I didn't live off the land as far as food resources go, but you know, that there are towns close enough and ways in which I can get to town and buy food and be able to return back to the trail is just a really neat thing. And also just the freedom that we have to live in the country that we live in and be able to traverse across 3 different states, not have any big worries other than the lions, tigers, and bears. I think that that's really great. So coming back home, I'm super grateful to live in the United States, super grateful to have had this opportunity, and grateful for my health for sure. I mean, thank you body and legs for working properly, and thank you mind for not shutting down and breaking down. And then also just so thankful for a roof over my head, and thankful for the little things that we have. I mean, having running water for 10 minutes, being able to have warm water, I mean, that's just such a luxury. We have so many great luxuries in this life. And I think that doing something like the Pacific Coast Trail will make you really grateful for those things and really show you what's important in life. Question 3, how did you keep your motivation level up during the whole trail? Well, my motivation level was not up during the whole trail. By any means was it up during the whole trail. I don't think anybody's really is, and if it is, then they're just a super positive person. I am not a super upbeat, positive person all the time. I am very much a realist, and I accept things for the way that they are, and I can't make rainbows out of rain without sunshine. So I think for me, I took every single day, one day at a time. Every mountain at a time, sometimes it was like that. Sometimes I would take off in the morning and say, okay, I have 4 peaks to climb today. or 4 little summits that I have to get over today. And I would reward myself throughout the day doing certain things, like maybe I'd have lunch after I hit the 3rd peak. Okay, I'll have lunch on top of the 3rd peak. That's my motivation to get there. Okay. And then I'll just start counting down. Okay, now you have 1 more or whatever. You have mantras in your head. I mean, my most used mantra is, I kept telling myself, is this is the hardest thing you'll have to do all day. This is the hardest thing you'll have to do all day. And I just kept repeating that to myself. That was my mantra, just to get through each day, because there are a lot of days that are really tough and a lot of days that aren't fun and a lot of days that you don't want to be out there. But if you want to successfully through hike, then you have to stay out there. Question 4. What surprised you most about the crowd of hikers on the PCT? What surprised me most? I think I was surprised at just the wide variety of people that I met out there. I mean, obviously you expect to see a lot of free-spirited people out there, and there are absolutely a lot of those. But I also saw, you know, people out there that this was their road to getting sober, which I really didn't think I would see something like that, you know, using the trail for such meaningful things. I didn't think that I would see that. I also saw, I don't know, everybody from like an 11-year-old with their parents to a 70-year-old, and so there's just such a wide variety of people out there. So you'll meet so many awesome people. Number 5, did you experience any post-trail depression? Post-trail depression. I don't think I experienced any post-trail depression. The biggest shock for me as far as getting off the trail was just kind of reintegrating back into society, because I wasn't used to the crowds and all of the sounds. I mean, yes, I'd deal with them for a few hours when I went into town to resupply, but I mean, I wasn't having to live or really sleep in all of those sounds and loud noises and all of the crowds of people. And so the first city that you get to outside of the trail when you finish the trail is Vancouver. Normally in Vancouver or Seattle or a big city like that, and those places are so crowded. And so I remember staying at a hostel there in Vancouver, and I laid my head down on the pillow for the first time, and I just heard so many loud sounds. I think I was staying near Chinatown down there, so I was hearing sirens, I was hearing kids laughing, I was hearing people at bars, I was hearing screaming, and that to me was really overwhelming. And then even weeks later when I returned home, just being in a grocery store, I remember pushing the cart down the aisles just thinking like, oh my god, I need to get out of here. And I had this long list of things to buy, but I just kind of stopped and went to the checkout, got what I already had, and just left. That was just very overwhelming to me. So I think I just had to readjust into the crowds of people. That to me was tough. What do you think are the major reasons people don't finish the PCT? Injuries, running out of money, etc. Wow. I think that there are a lot of reasons why people don't finish, but I think the biggest reason is probably just the mental aspect of staying out there and being able to finish the 2,663 miles of it. Obviously some people dip out due to injuries, or I even heard 2 people that I knew that got off the trail due to money, and I don't know, they didn't plan very well, obviously, or I don't know. If you want to find an excuse to leave the trail, you will. I promise you, there are a million reasons to leave the trail. You missed home, your family needs you, you're not sure you have enough money, the weather looks really bad, there's supposed to be some snow in the high Sierras, there's some wildfires, I know that the PCT is closed, certain areas, I probably wouldn't be able to reach Canada going the PCT route anyway, I might as well leave, or you know, my ankle's been really bad for the last, 3 days. I just really don't think it's gonna heal, or, or just, I mean, seriously, in 2,663 miles, if you wanna find an excuse not to be there, you will. I promise you, you will. But I think mentally, like, you just have to, your plan has to be to reach Canada. And that's one of the things that I look back and I say, I think that's what really got me there. Were there times when I didn't want to be there? Absolutely. Were there times when I was miserable? Absolutely. Were there times when I was in town and I didn't even want to go back to the trail? Absolutely. But I never once said, Ingrid, you can just fly home. Just get to Portland and you can fly home, or get to Lake Tahoe, North Lake Tahoe, or whatever. I never let those thoughts go into my head because I never gave myself an escape route from the PCT. To me, the only way I was going to get home was through Canada. So that was just always the goal for me, and I kept that there, and I never thought anything different. And I think that that's really important, because you can't make excuses as to why you can't finish. Because if you do, I promise you those excuses will just eat away at you, and eventually you'll convince yourself that those are big enough excuses or strong enough excuses or important enough excuses to stop you from being able to finish, or to big enough reasons for you to leave the trail. Okay, and last but not least, are you planning on doing another through hike? I have no specific plans to do another through hike at this point in my life. I feel like I'm still very much recovering from the last one. Sometimes it still haunts me. So no, I'm still recovering from the last one. Although I would like to do the CDT, I would like to do the Continental Divide Trail before I did any other through hike in the US. So I have looked into that. I would like to do that ideally with my dad. He's really been wanting to do that trail, and if he retires soon, then we'll be able to do that together, and I think that that would be really fun. But no, I don't really have any specific ones for that. There are a lot of other hiking adventures that I have planned and different goals that I want to do. So I'm not done hiking by any means, but I do not have another through hike in mind. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for the awesome questions. This was great. I didn't expect to get so many really great ones. I thought that I was gonna have to kind of come up with the ones that I've heard from people and family and friends and things like that. So thank you guys so much for that. And I have a lot of videos coming. I'll have one specifically about resupplying. I know some people have had questions about that. How did I resupply? Did I send boxes? Did I go to grocery stores? Did I all of those other things? And I did all of them, so I'll be happy to share my experiences with them. And so I'll do a video about that. And I have a lot of other ideas as well, but if you guys have any ideas, then I welcome you to just let me know, and I will be happy to make a video about it. Like I said, this stuff is just really fresh in my mind, and sometimes I feel like I seriously just walked off the trail last week, because I just have such vivid memories of being out there. So thank you guys for watching, and if you haven't, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys later.